Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. This classic fairy tale, known to generations around the world, is a story of love, jealousy, courage, and friendship. Snow White's journey from a beloved princess to an exiled fugitive and finally to a heroine who reclaims her rightful place has captivated hearts for centuries. Let's embark on this magical adventure and relive the timeless tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The wicked stepmother's jealousy. Snow White's story begins in a grand castle where she lives with her father, the king, and her stepmother, the queen. The queen, obsessed with her own beauty, possesses a magical mirror that she consults daily to affirm her status as the fairest in the land. However, as Snow White grows older, her beauty surpasses that of the queen, igniting a fierce jealousy in her stepmother's heart. One day, when the queen asks her mirror the usual question, she is horrified to hear that Snow White has become the fairest of them all. Consumed by envy and rage, the queen devises a sinister plan to eliminate her stepdaughter. She orders a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her, bringing back her heart as proof of the deed. The huntsman's compassion. The huntsman, though loyal to the queen, is a kind-hearted man. When he leads Snow White deep into the forest, he is unable to carry out the heinous act. Overcome by pity and compassion, he reveals the queen's wicked plot to Snow White and urges her to flee into the forest to save her life. Terrified and heartbroken, Snow White runs through the dark and eerie woods, not knowing where to go or what to do. The enchanted forest and the seven dwarfs. As night falls, Snow White stumbles upon a small, quaint cottage. Exhausted and frightened, she knocks on the door but receives no answer. Desperate for shelter, she enters the cottage and discovers that it belongs to seven dwarfs who work in a nearby diamond mine. The cottage is cozy but untidy, with 7 little beds, 7 little chairs, and 7 little plates. Feeling a sense of safety for the first time since her escape, Snow White tidies up the cottage and falls asleep across 3 of the tiny beds. When the dwarfs return home from their day's work, they are astonished to find their home clean and a beautiful girl asleep in their beds. After the initial shock, they wake her gently and introduce themselves Doc. Grumpy, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, and dopey. Friendship and a new beginning. Snow White explains her plight to the dwarfs, and they immediately take pity on her. They offer her refuge in their cottage, and she gratefully accepts. In return, Snow White keeps the house in order and prepares delicious meals for the hardworking dwarfs. Over time, a deep bond of friendship forms between them. Snow White's presence brings joy and laughter into the dwarfs' lives, and they cherish her as one of their own. The queen's discovery. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the queen is convinced that Snow White is dead. However, her suspicions resurface, and she once again consults her magic mirror. To her horror, the mirror reveals that Snow White is still alive and living in the forest with the 7 dwarfs. Enraged and determined to finish what she started, the queen disguises herself as an old peddler woman and sets out to find Snow White. The queen's wicked deeds. The queen makes several attempts to kill Snow White. Her first attempt involves offering Snow White a poisoned comb disguised as a gift. When Snow White uses the comb, she falls unconscious, but the dwarfs return just in time to remove the comb and revive her. Undeterred, the queen tries again, this time offering a poisoned corset. Snow White is saved once more by the dwarfs' timely intervention. The poisoned apple. Frustrated by her failed attempts, the queen concocts her most devious plan yet, a poisoned apple. Disguised as an old woman, she visits Snow White once more and offers her the apple. Despite the dwarf's warnings about strangers, Snow White, in her kind-hearted nature, accepts the apple. As soon as she takes a bite, she falls into a deep, death-like sleep. The queen, believing she has finally succeeded, returns to the castle triumphantly. The dwarfs are devastated when they find Snow White in her enchanted sleep. Unable to bear the thought of burying her, they place her in a glass coffin and keep vigil over her, hoping that somehow she might awaken. The prince's kiss. News of Snow White's beauty and tragic fate spreads throughout the kingdom. One day, a prince who had fallen in love with Snow White upon first seeing her in the castle hears of her condition and comes to see her. Struck by her beauty and moved by her plight, he kisses her tenderly. To everyone's astonishment, the kiss breaks the spell and Snow White awakens. A joyous reunion. The dwarfs and the prince rejoice as Snow White awakens from her slumber. The bond between Snow White and the dwarfs is stronger than ever, and they bid her farewell as she leaves with the prince to start a new life. The evil queen, upon learning of Snow White's revival, is consumed by her own wickedness and meets a fitting end. Conclusion. Snow White's story is one of resilience, kindness, and the power of friendship. Her journey from a persecuted princess to a beloved heroine is a timeless tale that continues to inspire and enchant audiences around the world. Through the trials she faced and the friendships she forged, Snow White reminds us that courage and goodness will always triumph over evil. Join us as we celebrate the enduring legacy of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a story that will forever hold a special place in our hearts. The magic of fairy tales. Fairy tales like Snow White have captivated generations with their enchanting stories and timeless lessons. They transport us to magical worlds where good battles evil and love and friendship conquer all. Snow White's tale, in particular, has resonated with audiences for its themes of bravery, resilience, and the importance of kindness. In a world that often presents challenges and obstacles, Snow White's story reminds us of the power of hope and the strength that comes from believing in ourselves and the goodness of others. Her journey from a young princess in peril to a triumphant heroine is a testament to the enduring power of fairy tales and their ability to inspire and uplift. The impact of Snow White. Since its debut, Snow White has become a cultural icon, inspiring countless adaptations, retellings, and homages. The story's universal appeal lies in its simple yet profound message that goodness and kindness will ultimately prevail over darkness and evil. Snow White's character embodies the virtues of purity, compassion, and inner strength, making her a beloved figure in literature and film. The legacy of Snow White extends beyond the pages of fairy tale books and the frames of animated films. She has become a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to overcome and emerge stronger. Snow White's story continues to be a source of inspiration for people of all ages, reminding us of the timeless values that define true heroism. Snow White in popular culture. The story of Snow White has been adapted into numerous films, television shows, and stage productions. Perhaps the most famous adaptation is Disney's 1937 animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which brought the story to life in a way that captivated audiences worldwide. The film's stunning animation, memorable characters, and unforgettable songs have made it a cherished classic. In addition to Disney's adaptation, Snow White's tale has been retold in various forms, each adding its own unique twist to the story. From live-action films to modern reimaginings, Snow White continues to inspire creative interpretations that resonate with contemporary audiences. The enduring popularity of Snow White is a testament to the story's timeless appeal and its ability to connect with people across generations. The enduring legacy of Snow White. As we celebrate the enduring legacy of Snow White, it's important to recognize the impact she has had on the world of storytelling. Her tale has become a cornerstone of fairy tale literature, setting the standard for the genre and inspiring countless other stories of courage, friendship, and triumph over adversity. Snow White's journey is a reminder that even in the face of great challenges, we have the power to shape our own destinies. Her story encourages us to embrace our inner strength, to be kind and compassionate, and to never lose hope. As we continue to share and cherish the tale of Snow White, we honor the timeless values that make her story a beloved part of our cultural heritage. Conclusion. Snow White's story is a timeless fairy tale that has captured the hearts of audiences for generations. From her humble beginnings as a persecuted princess to her triumphant victory over evil, Snow White's journey is a testament to the power of courage, friendship,